So, just a few little thoughts there in the beginning, just to get you familiar with the subject that we're talking about. Okay, and like, understand, this is a simple subject. You are the subject. There's no other subject. It's not like in the classroom you're like sitting learning. It's not, you can't subjectify it. It's like you are existing. Already existing. Right? Already existing. This is the beauty of this knowledge. The ultimate understanding is that you are already existing. There's nothing you can do about it. Are you existing or not? Already. So what is all this striving? Striving to be what? Complete. See how it all works. Why we strive to be complete? Because somebody put some idea inside here that I'm incomplete. It's that simple. And is there anything incomplete here in the creation? Anything? What's incomplete? It is where? It's all complete. Nothing incomplete. Nothing, if you look at it, nothing gets added to the creation and nothing gets taken out of the creation. We'll see it very clearly as we go on. You can just look at the ocean. You've been looking at the ocean. Tell me something. When the wave comes out of the ocean, does it add anything to the ocean? When it goes back in the ocean, is anything taken away from the ocean? We're going to go with simple ideas, okay? Just see it for what it is. The wave comes out of the ocean, nothing gets added to the ocean, right? Just the wave's coming, it's the ocean. You have to get, and then it goes away. Is something missing? Still ocean, right? It's all complete. Nothing gets added, nothing gets taken away. Nothing. So your little body is just a wave in the ocean of elements. Comes out of the ocean of elements, earth, fire, water, air, space, right? We'll see clearly how this is all it is. Where does the body come from? It comes from the parents, right? Seed. Where does the seed come from? The essence of what? Food. Sperm, ovum. In that person's body, the essence of food is sperm, ovum, whatever, in the male, female. Then what? How does it? Then it gets born into this shape, according to mommy, daddy. It becomes a little guy comes out. And then jumping around the world and going everywhere and causing havoc everywhere. Yeah? And then what is it doing? This body is being sustained by what? The essence of food. Yeah? Essence of food, which comes from what? Earth, fire, water, air, space. And then you also have the essence of food, creates sperm, ovum, mixing. Another little fella's jumping around outside. Yeah, or three. And then, that's what happens. So this is what's going on all the time, these waves. So you are just, what are we? Not little waves. When you see, understand the truth of it, this isn't who you are. This is the problem. Coming into this creation, we don't know where we come from. We don't know where we're going. We don't know what we're doing here. Anybody? Has anybody, just think, has creation ever given you any idea as to what you're doing here? Has it ever phoned you up and said, hey, you know what you're doing here? Nobody. We don't know. Anybody know? We don't We don't know what we do. We don't know where we come from. We don't know where we're going. We don't know what we're doing. Nothing. And does creation ever come along and give us any inkling as to what it is you are doing here? Besides the fact that we like to fill our bodies with food and eat and and dance and have a good time. Besides that, what is the purpose of, forget about just your little body, the whole totality? What is it? What is it doing? And with all these waves coming, these little body waves coming, what is going on? And this is the beauty, because nothing in the creation ever tells us the nature of who we are, nor does anything in the creation ever tell us the nature of yourself, the experiencer of the creation. Nothing. Experiencing everything, limitless, going on every day, experiencing all the taste, sounds, touch. How many experiences are you having actually when you're isolated? How many experiences? Seeing, tasting, touching, feeling, smelling, hearing. How many? 5. And what are those 5 experiences all related to? Eyes, video. Yeah. So this little body is what? What is this little body? A vehicle. It's a little gadget. The best gadget on the planet. The most amazing gadget. Better than any other gadget. Better than a space shuttle. If you had a space shuttle in your backyard, this is better. Better than these stupid little gadgets that have got how much memory inside this little gadget, yeah? 64 gigabytes. Woo, wow, look at a big 64 gig iPhone. And here, how much memory? How much bandwidth? Limitless. Infinite bandwidth. No problem. Doesn't end. But we are more impressed with the little iPad, iPhone, iPod, all these other little things. Everything, except this body that we're existing in. And what do? We don't see this body for what it is. Coming into the creation, obviously, nothing in the creation is telling me who I am, what is my nature of my experience, nothing. So what do I have to do? I have to start creating my own ideas. Yeah, my parents, they start telling me. We start picking up. What? Conditioning. Trying to make out who is this I experiencing. So what happens? We go into society and then the society tells us this is what you are. When you came into the creation, did you have a name? Did the body have a name? A name. Who gave the body a name? Parents. Parents give us a name. Flower.
There's all sorts of flowers there.
Oh, it's broken.
Do you want me to get it?
Okay. Now we can see. Look, don't get all scared and worried about all this thing. No, I have to leave all my ideas and everything behind. I have to listen to this stuff. It's telling you about the person who's picking up all the ideas, right? This is what this tradition is all about. Which you've never thought about. We've never thought about. Okay? This whole teaching is not another idea. It's the end of all ideas. Finished. Okay? No more ideas needed. You've had all the ideas, you've seen everything, you've experienced everything, then you want to now know who is this experiencer? Yeah? So now we come out, little body wave, bing, jumping around. And then the parents tell this little body wave, you are John. Because why? They like the name John came out of something, whatever, who knows where it comes. John. No? Whatever your name is. And then what do? We take the name to be who we are. Nice exotic name. Better. I'm exotic. I'm an exotic wave. Yeah? But the wave's the same. You see how it works? The naming game. Never mind the naming game of the body. Right? Just looking at the ocean. Naming the wave. What do? Separate it from ocean. See how it's beautiful. Now you're not seeing the ocean anymore, you're just seeing the wave. Right? The moment you name, like when you've never seen the ocean before and you see these things coming out and you say to the person with you, what is that? And they say, wave. What is this huge thing? Ocean. But you're more interested in wave. Where does the ocean begin? When did it begin? We go into these thoughts. You see what I'm saying? When did it begin? Where does it end? How many waves have come and gone in the ocean? Ocean stays ocean, doesn't change. But we see that one wave, and we think, wow. Yeah, and you get hung up on that little wave, then, ooh, wave gone. If you're a surfer, you catch it. Surfing the wave, you think, wow, what a wave! Yoo! Then what happens to it? Boom, out, back into the ocean. So this little wave, we name it. Then we take the name to be who we are. Looking at, that's why I've got a flower. Please see the flower. Does the flower have a name? Or is the flower the name? The flower exists with or without the name, am I right? Yeah. Simple logic, man. This is simple stuff. Right? This is so like the flower is not its name, am I right? So the flower has the name rose. Why do we give it the name rose? So we can communicate and understand each other and say, have you seen this before? No, what is that? And then what you do is, if you've never seen it before, someone then puts a name to the object. And then what happens? Knowledge. You've got the information, but it's not knowledge. You've seen this thing, you know what it is. What is that? Imagine you like, just come out, the ocean, and you're the tiny little wave, and you're just like checking everything out, and you haven't even had a thought yet. Think about it. Before you accept the name that the parents give you, you don't even know what a thought is. You've never experienced anything, to have a thought about anything. So then the first thing, you look at the butterfly flying, and you see that, and you think, whoa! Yeah? One thing, and then the whole night you're like obsessed with that thing you saw. Sleeping, you can't sleep. You're like seeing this thing. Wake up the next morning, first thing that comes, butterfly. Wow. You go, you can't get very far, so you try and go back to sea or whatever. Who knows? When you're a little baby, and then you can start articulating, start talking. What is that? What happens? Who is your first teacher? Mother. Mother is the first, what we call, now this word guru comes. Guru. This word guru, which has been so screwed up and maligned and misrepresented and all this rubbish. Guru. What is the guru doing? You see the butterfly, you don't know what it is. Ignorance, right? What is the mother doing? Removing your ignorance. That's it. Yeah? What is that? Butterfly. What happens? Knowledge, right? Because what? You name it for the person. Then they say, okay. What is that? Tree. Okay. I mean, simple stuff, right? It starts there. It starts with that. So then you say, okay, tree. Wow, tree. Cling. Butterfly. Cling. Connection. Object and thought. Thought and object meet. Name. Text. So we keep going, and then we take, then the parents tell you, your name is such and such, whatever. Okay? And do you listen to that name in the beginning? Of course not. You don't know that's your name. How do you know that's your name? You've never heard it before. So what happens? The parents call, John. You don't know what's going on. You don't think about anything. So how did they impress that name on you? Hey, you hear that name, you come. You get a little bit of a warm backside. Yeah? If you don't listen, you get that. So what happens then? Listen, see how it is. This child that is now supposed to be named as such and such. Now every time that name comes, it has to jump. Right? Otherwise, warm. Yeah? So, but see how clever these kids are. See how clever we are as kids. Eventually the little fellow takes the name, because he's very smart, and when you want the attention of those parents, what do? In the beginning. John wants. Because you know, but using that name, you get their attention. See how clever we are? Using that name, you haven't said, I want yet. See how subtle this is. You haven't said, I want. Because I hasn't come up yet. Still, you're 2, 3-year-old. You know that this name, everybody jumps around when they hear this name. Because everybody's been saying, oh, look at the new baby named John. You go, John, wow, John, yeah. You know. And then now this little John's walking around. And then he still hasn't taken himself, I'm using my name, whatever, you can use your name, we still haven't taken ourselves to be the name. This I hasn't taken ownership yet. Still running around, looking, everything. Then, but this is the first start of the conditioning. Jump. And then we're on. Imagine now how much conditioning comes along with that name. Maybe the grandfather's name was John, grandfather's name was John, great-great-grandfather's name was John, coming from the whole line of Johns. Now you've got to carry this whole weight on your shoulders now. Okay? Your grandfather, your great-great-grandfather, your great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was such a... Who cares? Does it matter? to me. Makes no difference whether the rose has a name or doesn't have a name. Do you see that? It makes no difference to the rose. See how see. You must watch these thoughts carefully. It doesn't make any difference to the rose whether it has a name or doesn't have a name. Simple logic, but when you see it and you realize it makes no difference to me either if I have a name or I don't have a name. See how much conditioning is in that little name. Just observe, see how simple. Now what happens? You become all spiritual and spirituated. You got it like a fancy ashram with a big fat guru in India, and the next thing you get spirituated. And then you get a new name. Now what? New name, oh, so what? Does it change anything? Different name doesn't change anything, same package. Then you come, oh, I'm all spiritual. Oh, really? What did you see? How stupid it is? Because you still don't know the I that is now all spiritual. 1 minute it was all into like luxuries and fancy houses and real estate, and then got in trouble, couldn't pay the mortgage, lost everything, lost the thing, and all the bank and everything closed on you and everything. Now I went off to India, it's spiritual, because I managed to get off there and get a little bit of money, and I went to the ashram and lived for nothing. In the ashram, then I'm a new person, I'm a new person. And then comes this whole new spiritual person now. Oh, what have you done? You just transferred all that conditioning, boom, from being material identification, all those identifications, now suddenly new identification, spiritual identification. Still not knowing the I who's identified. Can you see? It's so simple. Nothing wrong with the different traditions, etc. But when you go to India now, very difficult to find the real stuff, because all these guys are pushing. They want the money. They're pushing nonsense. So, still, we need to know this one simple little fellow, I. And that I, let's see that. The I is absolute. In the same way as this flower is absolute. Then comes the name rose. The rose flower has a name. Yeah? It is not the name. It can't be the name. So now, to think that I am my name, if I ask, or someone asks me, who are you? And I say, I am John. What am I doing? Please see how simple and beautiful it is. I am John. What am I doing? I'm lying to them, because the I can never be the name. Yeah? The name happens, very important, the name happens relative to this I. So what is the first name of everybody? First, everybody's first name. First name is I. First name of the whole human race is I. Who is this I? And everybody now with new age. I is the, please don't get involved in that nonsense, because it's just another form of identification. What's happened here is we've come into the creation, we don't know who we are, and we've started creating the habit of identification began. Yeah, identifying this I with all sorts of things. Okay? Then when it comes to who is this I, we want to identify that too. Does this I need identification? Please see it. Does the rose need identification? No. It's existing already. Right? Then comes identification, the naming. So we'll see clearly when we get to the name and the naming. If you have to use a name for this I, what names can be used? If you have to name that which is unnameable. Why? Because this is that in which all the names, all names are given in the presence of I. Can you see that? So every name is relative to I. It's like your simple stuff. I mean, it's a beautiful thought, eh? It's a beautiful thought, but the simplest way to explain it is pizza. This is what we're going to do. We play with all this knowledge, okay? Pizza. How many variations of pizza can there be? As many as you want. Hey? Pizza, quattro stagioni, whatever you want, margarita, this one, all related to what? Relating to, talking about what? What are they all describing? What? Pizza. You see? But now, this whole thing has begun. So when we grow up and we start assuming all these identifications, identities, what is going to happen to us? See carefully, clearly, coming into the creation, in this body vehicle, right? It's a vehicle. It's got audio, video, taste, touch, smell. Amazing gadget, right? Like we were saying, incredible gadget. The best gadget on the planet. There's no other planet, there's no other gadget like this. Cockroach gadget, not so cool. Ant gadget, uh-oh. You don't know what's going on with that. Wait, the ant. What kind of thing is he seeing? You know what I mean? Human gadget. Whoa. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But we come into this creation, and what is the first thing? Not knowing? Just let's see, how long has creation been going? How long has it been creation existing? Who knows? We don't know. Billions of years, billions of years. We don't know. So then we come into the creation and this little body vehicle and say what? I exist. In this creation that has been existing for billions of years, we come in and say, I exist. Who is this? Existing. In this little body vehicle. Yeah? So now see how it is. Even in our society, when someone's driving a vehicle, okay, and the policeman stops them in their car and says, who are you? And the girl says, I don't know. Where are you coming from? Where have you been? Where are you coming from? I don't know. Huh? It's the same as us in this body vehicle. We don't know where we come from. We don't know where we're going. We don't know who we are. So, what's the difference? This fellow driving his car, where you come from? Don't know. Who are you? I don't know. Where are you going? I don't know. What are you driving? I don't know. Then what? Are you driving? I don't know. What do you call this guy? There's a lot running around. Yeah, drunks. Have you seen a guy when they're drunk? And he's sitting in his own house. Take me home! He's sitting in his favorite armchair. I want to go home. Take me home. Meantime, the drunk driving the car, where are you from? Don't know. Where are you going? I don't know. Who are you?
I don't know.
What are you driving a car? What are you driving? I don't know. Drunk drivers. So now look at yourselves. Look at ourselves. What are we? Driving this beautiful, sophisticated, most sophisticated vehicle on the planet. Not even knowing that we're driving a vehicle. A gadget. Eh? What are we? Not knowing who we are, where we're going, where we come from. Also, must be drunk drivers. And what can happen to us driving around in this creation? See, look at this now, the map that we've created for ourselves, eh? And we're busy now extending that map. Now, I'm going to become a yoga teacher. That's the new map, new thing. Nothing wrong, eh? Just understand it for what it is. See it for what it is. Yeah? This is the beauty of this. Now, this map that we've created through our identifications, individuation, that's the key word. From growing up, take the name to be who I am. Then, what happens? Go to school, take all my education at school to be who I am. My conditioning that I get from ancestors, society in which I live, right? Religion, beliefs, ideologies, ideas, all of this goes into making me who I think. You see, who I think I am. At no time has anybody pointed out to you exactly who you are. Yeah? Nobody's named that which is existing. Nothing has been told to us. And that's as it should be. Imagine if you were born into this creation knowing everything. What would you do? You wouldn't get, first of all, you don't get. You don't come in. You can't get the ticket. If you know what's going on here, no chance, no place for you. You have to be born ignorant, completely. Then you start going around, looking everywhere, what is happening here, what's going on, butterfly comes, banana, whatever, nuts, you know, other people, other things, ooh, and then. So we collect, now see how it is. For one particular society, they speak one particular type of language. You learn that kind of language, you learn that type of writing. I mean, I don't know about you, but if I was growing up in Japan, for instance, and that writing, I would have a headache just to. But for the Japanese, normal. But this is the writing. Yeah. Chinese language, writing, whoa. Sanskrit, whoa. All this, you see? So now, when you grow up in that particular country, or that particular society, that is your writing. That is your culture. And so the language, never mind the language of the society, what other languages are included in that language? Clothing, the type of clothes you wear. Yeah? Food, language, the type of food you eat. More conditioning. You see? So now, the language that we speak, the food that we eat, the clothing that we wear, all come under this label of what? Conditioning. Limiting me. Now, limiting, and you will see clearly what it's limiting. Is existing, never gone anywhere. Ever present. And all this identification is going on from this little wave that comes created into the little ocean of existence, consciousness. And it starts taking the name to be itself, the food and the conditioning and the clothing and the rituals and all the stuff and all the beliefs and everything come into that little wave. And it says, I am. Not knowing who this I is, not knowing what it is experiencing as itself, as the creation. The thing is known. And to see how beautiful it is, how lucky we are. Then what do? I'm just going to slot this in quickly. We go onto the yoga mat. As we get older, we got confused and we're getting a little bit pressured up and da 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 da. We go on the yoga mat and we do some yoga and suddenly back. No conditioning. That's why meditation, all that I-ness, just drops for a moment. So now if you're wondering what are you talking now? This is what we're talking about. Just getting on the mat, doing the practices, you don't realize it, you attribute it to the yoga, but for that moment in time, that little conditioning, all that stuff, just relief. Relief. Immense relief. Because what happens all day long, going to bed at night, I. Go to sleep. What happens when you sleep? No I. Deep sleep. Dreams. Yeah. The worst thing is the dream. Because no one listens to you in your dreams. Have you ever got a dream where someone actually listens to you? Hey, you shouting, nobody hears anything. Funny enough, in this dream also, nobody hears you. When everybody's wide awake, nobody listens either. So-called wide awake. Right? Why? Because we all lost in thoughts, our own thoughts. Does that fit in with my thinking? Huh? Does it cannot? What? No, what is he saying? You see, so what are we dealing with here? We're going right back to the basics, conditioning. And this is what yoga does, decondition for a moment. You know, the spiritual practices, for a moment, the deconditioning. And whew. And then what happens if you were a goofy guru? Next thing you're sitting and this is amazing, I can feel something really strange. And then what happens? Identification. Huh? When you go to that goofy guru, you say, what is it? Kundalini, linguini. Tortellini. Is awakening. And really? Yeah. Good, carry on, keep going, give me your money, give me your money. Mantra, I'll give you a special mantra. Awaken you. You tell me, who's falling asleep in that identification? You. See how simple it is. This is why, unfortunately, there's a letter I was reading yesterday, written by some person. It was really, wow, on this thing called Elephant Journal, which is a big thing. Well, I don't know how big it is, but anyway, for all the spiritual curious people, it's a very big, sort of like a blog on the States. Yeah. And this woman writes a beautiful letter, how she's done everything. She's gone from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. She's done gurus, she's done, and never stopped. And she's done it all so diligently, and so tenaciously, and so sincerely, everything. Nothing. She's completely finished. She ends up in a temple in some place in God-forsaken place in India, sobbing for days underneath the god, with the temple guy, the priest putting a stuff on the guard, never worried about her. And she's thinking, why this I? Having taken now the spiritual thing to be like what it's about, and it gets lost in it. Not knowing itself. Nothing wrong with spiritual, nothing wrong with that. We just need to understand it. That's all. Why are these practices there? It's all simple stuff. As I said, it starts there. You do the yoga practice, what happens? All the conditioning drops out. Happy. Peaceful. For that moment in time. Then what happens when we get off the mat? Oh my God. Oh, it starts again. Why? Because all the identification comes back. So this is like just please see how these practices and everything are beautiful. Tranquilize. A tranquilizer for the mind for a little period of time. You need to understand who is dealing with the thoughts. Once you understand the thinker, can any thought bother you? Once you know yourself as the thinker, as the one having the thoughts, please see how clearly you cannot ever be bothered about a thought again. This whole thing of trying to destroy and erase my thoughts through meditating, please, don't start that. You try to destroy a thought with words sharp. What happens? You sit down and think, I'm not going to have any thoughts now. Because now I'm a meditator. I'm going to sit here and I'm not having any thoughts. No thoughts. And then what's the first thing that comes? Never mind a little thought, the biggest step. The biggest thought will come, like the big great white thought. The one that you didn't want to have coming. No, you can't come. It will be the first thought that you encounter. The first one. And then what happens? Dum, 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 dum. And then long comes in my ocean of peace. And then what do? Oh my God, I'm being eaten by a thought. I mean, how, like I say in meditation, how big is a thought? Okay? Please see it. The thought has got no existence on its own. It's completely thoughtless. You're the one with all the thoughts. Because of experiences that you've had and things that you've enjoyed and that you want to enjoy again. So you what? I like that, so now I want to experience that again. The thought comes on its own, it's completely innocent little photograph. Some face or piece of food or something comes floating through the consciousness like a screensaver. And it doesn't make a noise, nothing silent. And then you see the thought, oh, I want it. Right? You see it and you think, I remember that. That's a cool thing. Yeah? Oh, the thought you were watching TV and next thing the ad was there about the new gizmo, gazmo, blah. And then it comes. The next morning while you're sitting meditating, that little thought of that new gizmo, gazmo, blah, comes in. Oh, yeah. I must go there today. I must get money in the bank. I must go there. I must do. Is the thought the problem? The thought's never the problem. Thought is innocent. Completely innocent. Doesn't do anything to anybody. Has a photograph ever hurt anybody? And neither will a photograph ever hurt anybody or do anything for anybody. Stepping on dangerous ground. Why? Because a lot of us, our been the same. Put the photographs of the gurus up everywhere. What are they going to do? Do you know what it is? The reason why you put the photograph of someone somewhere? Why? Because you knew the person. You take the photograph because you knew them. By seeing that person, that reminds you of them. The whole fragrance of that person. They're like scent, memory, everything. But now what happens if you don't have any experience of that person? What are you going to do? Nothing. And when you're talking about these teachers, say for instance these fancy guru people, the one who removes your ignorance, remember what I said about the teacher? Right? When the person removes your ignorance of yourself, you will never forget that person. You don't need photograph. But if you want, when you put a photograph of them there, it's a beautiful thing. Beautiful. Oh, wow. Whew. See them and you, oh man, amazing. Yeah. Any photograph of anybody that's meaningful to you. But the dead fellow and a photograph that you never met, is never going to teach you anything. Promise. Can't help. You know, picture, statue, I'm not, look, this knowledge cuts right to the bone, okay? It doesn't mess around. I was going to use another word, but anyway, you leave those words. It doesn't mess around, it cuts right down all the nonsense. A statue is not going to teach you anything. No. You can sit next to that statue your whole life, won't do anything. You can chant, doesn't do anything. Nothing happens. That if you want pizza, you have that thought comes while in your meditation, you're sitting there, quattro stagione. No? And it comes, and you think, where is that pizza place? I want to find the best pizza place in Byron Bay, right? Does it help to then start chanting pizza, 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 stagione, 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 stagione? Will it come? The pizza, will it come? Nothing will come. You'll be sitting there and everybody else will be enjoying the pizza. Right? So the same with this knowledge. You'll be sitting by the Buddha, chanting your whole life long, and everybody else will be enjoying the creation. If they get the right teacher. But like my teacher said, you know, someone asked after the class, why did people sit in caves, you know, for 20 years up in Himalayas? Straight answer. Must have been stupid. Who knows? Maybe we don't know what life was like 3,000 years ago. But just see how knowledge works. Please just simply see how knowledge works, right? Having never heard, for instance, just as the example, so you're talking about pizza, having never heard about pizza, never seen a pizza in your life before, and you hear someone say, have you tried pizza? And you think, no, I haven't. What is that? Oh, everybody's talking about this pizza, they put some tomato, a bit of mozzarella, and they put it on the bread. It sounds like chapati to me. Anyway, if you've been to India, you know what is chapati. Anyway, so then you say, really? And then you think, pizza, 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 pizza. So now when you found your friend, you say, hey, I want to go try that pizza. Can we go try? Yeah, come, let's go. So you go, and you go and sit down, you see the place, pizza place, you go and you sit in front of the pizza, now the guy brings the pizza. Still you don't know pizza, but then you take and you eat it. How long does it take for knowledge of pizza to take place? Instantaneous. How long does it take for knowledge of anything to take place? It all depends on what? Our conditioning. Perhaps you don't want anything to do with pizza. Someone says, have you, and because you don't like Italians. Pizza, that's Italian. No. So will you get to know pizza? See how it works. Please, see how it works. No, I don't want it. And so you'll never know. But once you eat it and take it, how long does it take? Instant. You know pizza. So now how long do you think it'll take to get to know yourself? It all depends on what? Conditioning. How you're prepared to let that conditioning out and go. And see yourself clearly for what you are, who you are. And once you see yourself clearly for who you are, what you are, what are you going to see? Everything else, exactly for what it is, as it is, no more. How beautiful is it? I mean, that's the beauty. You see, everything as it is. Nowhere you walk in this creation is anything going to be a surprise. But walking around with an idea of myself, with all my stuff, everything is a surprise. Everything. Because everything can come and hit me at any time. Any time I get hit. But my identification is getting hit. Something I believe in. Gold. I've got all my gold in the bank. Someone takes it out. Ooh, they rob the bank. My gold gone. I'm finished. What happens to me? Finished. If I believe in anything, then I do not need to be myself. Are we already existing or not? That's what the first question, right? Already we are present, existing, with or without all our ideas. See clearly. How amazing. But through habit, we continually wish to identify ourselves with things as this or that, as so. So now the next habit comes identifying this self. Be careful. It's not an identification. Be very careful. This is not identification. It is the end of identification. Because, why? It is that which identifies everything. And this is why when we're talking in the texts about self being unknowable, you'll hear these fancy discussions going along if you get involved in some of this new age sort of thinking to do with non-dualism, all these kind of things. There's no such thing as non-dualism. You know why? Because there's no duality to start with. So what to talk of? Duality. We'll see it very clearly. This is logic. We're not asking anyone to have any beliefs about anything. You don't need a belief. Do you need a belief to exist here and experience this talk going on now? No beliefs are needed. To be yourself, nothing is needed. No beliefs are needed. Nothing. You'll see it clearly. All the practices here are here to do is to help us, remind us of our true nature. That which is existing effortlessly, with or without the identification, with or without the ideas. So now we go into our lives, get the name for the gadget, and we go into the world. Huh? And we start educating, getting ourselves educated. We start growing up, yeah? And then we start experiencing all sorts of things, peer pressure, all your friends. Have you tried that? Have you done that? No, it starts going. And then you start competing. And think about it. This is essential. You have to have strong, huge individuality. Because else, how do we survive? So this individuality is nothing wrong. The stronger the individual, the more they succeed. Right? Now what's happening is, this individuality is hampering us because we've become self-obsessed. This cult of the individual, the cult of the individual, the cult of personality has become an obsession for the human being. And this is what we're dealing with now today. And it's limiting that individual. So now we get to the stage where we need to understand, this is the next stage of our development as human beings, is to know who is individuality, who is individualizing, who is identifying. Because once you know that, then being the individual is a piece of cake. Because what goes into our individuality? What makes up the individual? See the word? Individual means what? Unable to be divided. One. What makes up this individual? Besides name, besides qualifications. So now once we've got the name, right, and we're comfortable with that, and we've kind of assimilated the fact that we're part of this huge generation of families that have gone before us, etc., etc. Parental, paternal history, maternal history, all these things. Once we come to terms with that, and then you're like the little guy now, yes, I'm going to school and everything, and we pick up all the ideas and education, then qualification. Matriculate, graduate. Yeah, I'm a graduate now. Graduating in what? Physics. I am now PhD. I am now lawyer. I am MBA, PhD, businessman, Bachelor of Commerce. I am another lot of stuff coming. Can you be those things too? Can any of us be a PhD? No. First comes you, then comes PhD. No. Without you, what PhD? Without you, what? Qualification. Has anybody got a problem with that? First you come. Then comes the qualifications. You have to be there first before any qualifying can take place, surely. How are you going to get qualified? How are they going to qualify you if you aren't there? So, first you come. Then we take the qualification to be ourselves. Oh my God. Then comes what? The roles, positions in life. You see how it goes? It's all beautiful. And we're going to see that elaborately as we continue. So just see, this is the beginning of the shake-up. How that, now I'm thinking, oh my God, we're all thinking, oh my God, so what am I? That's the whole idea. See? It's about taking this eye and saying, ooh, what am I? Who am I? And it's the most beautiful journey you can ever take in your life. To see Byron Bay, right? We had to get on the airplane, or get in the car, or do whatever we have to do. If we come from long, far away, we have to make all the plans and get everything ready. Yeah? Lists, like I said yesterday, list. Put everything on the list, right? And then to get here. So we made all the plans, bought the tickets, made sure I got enough money, did everything. And then you get on the plane, travel, land safely, everything's in it, come to the classes, come to the studio, everything's perfect, right? So to go from A to B, you have to do a lot of stuff. You see, from going from A to B, from home to here, you have to do a whole lot of stuff. To get into the creation, what do you have to do? To go from point A to point B, you have to do immense things. To be in existence in the world, what do you have to do? Already existing. Already. Now imagine you, say for instance, like, just a thought came up this morning. And I thought I'd share it with you, just to see a little bit how knowledge works. Say you come, first of all, just think, just before we go there. Does Byron Bay know that it's called Byron Bay? Huh? Have we actually gone anywhere? Is the earth that you left, where you were standing, any different to the earth that you're standing on, sitting on now? So what did we take for granted in the whole traveling earth? Looking at all these plants, flowers, beauty around us, all over us here, ocean. Do we see the earth underneath the trees? Without the earth, what trees? Okay, so we come to imagine now. So now, Byron Bay doesn't know it's called Byron Bay, right? We call it Byron Bay. Okay? Is Australia Australian? Right? Is it? Is Germany German? South Africa, South African, America, American. It's names that we give as human beings to these places. And then we take the name to be what it is. Is it America? In reality, it's Earth. Yeah? No matter where you go, you're in the same place. Like I said, to get from A to B, yes, you have to travel. To get into the totality of existence, you're already here. So coming to Byron, imagine you come to Byron Bay, you live in Australia and you come to Byron Bay. And for a weekend, right, to have a party. And the whole weekend it's raining. So you don't really see the lighthouse. Right? You can't. Like mist, cloudy, all covered up. Then you go back home after your weekend and you tell your friend was saying, hey, where did you go this weekend? You were away, I'm trying to get hold of you, I'm SMSing you, what were you doing? No, it's in Byron. I had a big, good time in Byron. The friend says to you, wow, that's a great place. Hey, did you see the lighthouse? Mm-hmm. Is there a lighthouse? What are you talking about? I didn't see any lighthouse. Where? No, man, it's on top of it. You can't miss it. It's like standing right on top of the mountain there, but peninsula. What do you mean you didn't see the lighthouse? Are you crazy? No, I didn't see it. Because why? Mist, raining, everything covered it up. Yeah? Does that mean that the lighthouse doesn't exist? Question for us. Does that mean that there's no lighthouse there? Why I'm mentioning this, because what is a teaching? A teaching is something that tells you about something that is already existing. The only thing is we don't see it. It is existing, never mind it is existing, it is all that is existing, but we just don't see it. Any teaching can tell me that in our lives, things are continually changing. Right? Like science tells you about the phenomenal world, like the world of matter, etc., etc. Tell you all these ideas and things. But also science is changing all the time. You know what I mean? They have 1 minute it's a quark, there's something else. They're trying to find the molecule of life, etc., etc. So they keep going, no, and then no, it's not that, it's this, no, it's this, no, it's the God molecule. Everybody's like, the God molecule, that's what it is. You know, it's going to keep on going because that's the nature of the creation. It keeps changing. Nothing ever remains the same. Yeah? But, so now, for teachings to tell you that everything's changing, I can see quite clearly, we can all see quite clearly that people are dying, constantly dying, and being born. People are born every day, every second. And people are dying at the same rate. Yeah? Maybe more people are being born than dying, who knows at the moment what's going on. But this is what's going on. Everything's changing, constantly changing. Nothing remains the same, ever. Do I need a teaching to tell me that? Do I? That's pretty obvious. All right, that's obvious. But what happens if something comes along and tells you, in amongst all that is continuously changing, dying, being born, there is something that is never changing, never changes, constant, ever remains the same, through, in and through, out, everything. Not only this, it tells you that you are that. You are that. Changeless, undying, still, permanent, constant, in amongst all that is changing and dying and being reborn. Okay? And not only it tells you that, it tells you that you are that without having to do a thing. Wouldn't that be interesting? Would you find that? Would you be curious in finding out something about that? I think so. I mean, a lot of people say, a moment of peace, a moment of stillness. What I do for a moment of peace, what I do for a moment of stillness. Wouldn't you rather know yourself as the stillness, the peace? What's this moment of peace? Huh? When you can know yourself as the peace itself, the stillness itself. Would you rather carry on having moments of peace? Of course not. And this is what this knowledge is all about. Knowing the truth. Does peace, stillness, call it love, disappear? Anyway, it never goes. We only think it goes. We think it disappears. Because we will see very, very clearly, please, this is all pure logic. You will see clearly how love never goes anywhere. Peace never goes anywhere. Happiness too never disappears. Who disappears? You disappear. Where? Into your thoughts about happiness. into your thoughts about peace, into what makes you peaceful. Why? Because for that little moment in time, your conditioning drops out. You are prepared at that particular point with those certain circumstances to let go of your conditioning under those conditions. And what happens? The moment you identify with anything as being containing your peace, your happiness, your joy, what you must read at the bottom of the contract, like any contract, what's right at the bottom in small tiny letters you can hardly read? Terms and conditions apply. Attributing your happiness, your peace to anything, what can happen? When it's there, lovely. When it's gone, huh? When it's all there, nice, everything's happy. Wow! When it's gone, problem. Then all the problems start. Why? Because you have attributed your peace, your stillness to that particular circumstance, that particular situation, that particular idea, that particular thought, object, anything. And then if it's not there, what? Peace. Attributing my completeness to something, getting a degree. What if I don't get a degree? I'm incomplete. What to do? What? Who's made that condition? Me. Or because my family told, oh, your grandfather was the best in the world at doing something or what. Now you must also follow his footsteps and become the best at whatever, Then if you don't fulfill that obligation, whoa, you finish hard. Those conditions we're talking about. Meantime, constantly existing, ever present, that which is unconditioned, ever whole and complete, in whose presence all this feeling of incompleteness is going on. This creation, this totality, this nature is never incomplete. It's ever whole, ever perfect. Every day is an absolutely perfect day. Every single moment is absolutely perfect. It depends on you. What do you do with the day? What you do with the moment? It's all up to us. Everything is given. There's no such thing as this malevolent God. Where is there such a thing as this God that threatens everybody? Where? Where? Please. Other than a God that supports and succors everything, supports and nourishes, nurtures every single thing in our life. Where is this God that doesn't do that? There's not much of a God, is it? If he can't look after you, or me, or anything, and he takes it and gives it to one and doesn't give it, what is it? Rubbish. Nonsense. This idea that we have of God is completely wrong. To put God in one place, whereas in reality, there is no place where God is not. To say God alone is the answer, is the truth. To say this alone is God, this rose alone is God, is it possible? Or if I get some statue and put it there like this for the little boy Ganesha, and he alone is God, now everybody must worship this little thing, then what does it mean? It means everything else is not God, isn't it? How does that work? That not only, that is God as well. If you find a nice little feeling about that boy with his elephant head and whatever, the first head transplant on a human being, you like the guy? No? Okay, no problem. But if you don't, and you like some stone or some flower or something, well, no problem. It's all God, so what are you going to do? And this is where yes, everything is God, but we need to know before you have moved anywhere and gone anywhere or done anything, you are, before you even look for meaning or look for truth, or look for God, God has already found you. Truth has already found you. Before you even start looking, peace has already found you. Stillness has already found you. Love has already found you. Already done. We make the mistake of attributing our love to things, people, situations, relationships. Based on what? Condition. And we've all had immense exposure to all these ideas, books that we read, love stories, movies. And we're going to see clearly how this is beautiful. Nothing wrong with any of it. We just got to see how the game's changed. The game has changed. Because science, and we'll go into that a little bit more tomorrow, science and medicine has basically done away with our need for any higher being, power, what. Yeah? God, I mean, nowadays kids growing up, God, what? Wait, what are you talking about? Church, God, what do you go there for? They don't have any idea about it. But we did. Anyway, so we'll get on to that. We've got 6 weeks. Wow. So then, we'll talk tomorrow about the guy coming here and seeing and not seeing the lighthouse. Coming into the creation, living your whole life, not seeing yourself. Let's close that.